Okay, so let's start working. The parts that I'm going to demonstrate in this video are things that we're going to need for the Christmas show. But it can be used for all the classic Chuck Berry and old-fashioned rock and roll songs, and eventually also apply to other things. Um, it's a 12-bar blues that we're going to play, and it's going to involve three chords. One is the E chord that we've been working on in the first session. Two is a D chord, which we had last year in Cinnamon Girl. And three is the A chord, which if you watched the video all the way through and worked on what the song from the last session all the way through, you would have seen it there because I teach it there. I will review them for our purposes here. So there's our A chord. I'm playing my pointer finger on the second fret, and I'm pressing strings 4, 3, and 2. Notice the first string I'm actually physically trying to mute. I'm trying to kill it like that and choke it. And I got this chord. This is my A chord. I'm strumming 5 strings. I know it's hard to kind of nail that. You see where I bring my thumb, so this way I can choke the 6th string. So if I do accidentally hit it, I can still get the chord that I want to get. Next one is a D chord. It looks like this. So I got my middle finger on the 1st string, 2nd fret, my pointer finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and my ring finger on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. I'm strumming, I'm aiming for 4 strings. If I get 5, it's still okay. And again, I'm trying to bring my thumb up here so I can choke that 6th string and get those chords. And the first thing you want to do is really just kind of practice switching from one to another, because you will have to switch between them pretty quickly. So let's do a measure of A, 2, 3, 4, to a measure of D, 2, 3, and back and forth. Just kind of practice that. Until you're comfortable with that. Last chord that we need is the E chord, which we've addressed in the last session. Pointer finger on the 3rd string, 1st fret, middle finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret, ring finger on the 4th string, 2nd fret. Again, notice how I have to make room here for my fingers to fit into that spot. Pinky's in the air, I don't need it. And there's your chord, there's your E chord. Again, take your time to practice from E to A. And just back and forth from E to A. And same thing going from E to D. This is probably the trickiest switch you'll have to do. But you will have to do it. That one is the bottom on the list of priorities. Don't worry about it as much as going from A to D and back, A to D, back and forth, A, D, A, and A to E. Okay, now we got the 3 chords we're going to be working with. Let's get our format together, our progression. And this is a 12-bar blues, which means it's a very standardized sequence, very standardized set of chords in a certain order, which can be used for a lot of songs in a lot of different styles. So what we're going to start with is 4 measures of A. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Third measure, 2, 3, 4, and 4th, 2, 3, 4. Once you got that, we're going to add 2 measures of D. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All together so far, A, 2, 3, 4. Second A, 2, 3, 4. Third A, 2, 3, 4. Fourth A, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to add after that 2 measures of A. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. After that, so we got A for 4 measures, D for 2 measures, A for 2 measures. Next, we're going to add 2 measures of E. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And another 2 measures of A. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got 4 measures of A, 2 measures of D, 2 measures of A, 2 measures of E, 2 measures of A. Here's the whole, just so we have the sequence all together in context, here's the whole 12 bars, 12 bar blues format all the way through beginning to end. A, 2, 3, 4. Second A, 2, 3, 4. Third, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. Second D, and back to A, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, E, and back to A. And there you have it. It's important to know that you have to be able to play this over and over again, because this is basically just one verse out of the, I don't know how many that we're going to do. And sometimes in a blues jam, you're going to be playing this for hours on end. Okay, let me address this specific spot here that in the 12 bar that could be kind of tricky if you lose track, and you want to make sure you don't fall into this trap. What we have to do is play the sequence, like I said, over and over again. 12 measures and then start them again and so on. The problem in this, it's very easy to lose your count of where you're at, because we finished the last line ends 2 measures of E, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, and 2 measures of A, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have to go back to the top, which means playing another 4 measures of A. Make sure you don't lose your spot there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Now I start from the top. A, 2, 3, 4. Second A, 2, 3, 4. Third, 2, 3, 4. Fourth, 2, 3, 4. And so on. Going to the T. A simple little trick that can help you keep track of where you're at is just doing a little noisy variation of sort, just to give you a reference of where you're at. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I'm just adding a little noise to make sure that I finish the count of the previous 12 bar and I'm starting the next one. The way to get that noise is I'm kind of letting all my fingers just touch the strings. You can see I can slip picks and papers behind it. You can see I'm not pressing all the strings all the way down. As a result, I mute the strings. And I can just strum across and come back to my A chord at the beginning. As you're getting comfortable with the progression, you want to add a little bit more of the strumming to get a little more aggressive here. And the other thing is also a little faster on the tempo. This is about as fast as you will need to play. 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3. Second E and A, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, noise, 2, 3, 4, top, and so on. Okay, for those of you who are going to work on this, once you move through the acoustic guitar part, there's the electric guitar part. It's not necessarily acoustic or electric guitar, it's just a more complicated rhythm part. Just because you have an electric guitar doesn't mean you're going to play this part, but you should know it for future references, and if you can play it, that's even better. Always helps, but make sure you're learning the acoustic guitar part. Here what we're playing an open string power chord system that Chuck Berry made famous. It can be used in a lot of different ways. You would usually play it a lot faster. But again, speed is the last thing you want to work on. We're starting with the A power chord, and what I'm playing is the 5th string open and the 4th string 2nd fret. So I'm playing those on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm moving my finger down to the 3rd string 2nd fret, and I'm playing the open D 4th string and 3rd string 2nd fret together. Notice that throughout this whole exercise I'm only playing the 2 strings that I'm addressing. I'm not strumming across all the way. This is our D power chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Should help if I'm in tune. So D, and back to A for 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. E is the same thing, only this time I'm moving up once to the string. So I got my 6th string thick open and my 5th string at the 2nd fret. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And back to A for 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2nd A, 3rd A, 3, 4th A, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. D. Back to A, 2, 3, 4. 2nd A, and 2 measures V, 2, 3, 4. Here's the 2nd one. Back to A, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and so on from the top. Adding another little trick to this pattern, just to give it a little more taste, I'm going to actually change the notes here a little bit, and for the pattern, instead of just staying with this one power chord, I'm going to add this, what we call the 6, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Why is it called the 6? It's a long university explanation. Don't want to get into it. It'll be a waste of time. But all I'm doing technically is I'm doing first the power chord on the where I originally played it, the 5th string open, 4th string 2nd fret, and then I'm adding my ring finger on the 4th string 4th fret. 1, 2, and I'm just gonna alternating between the 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your one measure of this. I'll try to do this with so my middle finger doesn't hide the view. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice that because some of those beats are taken up by this A6 chord thing, you got to keep track of where you're at. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's one measure. Same thing applies with the D. Same trick. Moving my D power chord, open string 4th, 3rd string 2nd fret, and I'm going to add the ring finger on the 4th fret on the 3rd string. And on the E, same trick again. 2, 3, 4, 1, and so on. Here's the whole 12-bar blues with the pattern, and I'm going to count it out loud so you can get a feel for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, second A, 2, 3, 4, third measure A, 2, 3, 4, fourth measure A, switch to D, 2, 3, 4, second measure of D, 2, 3, back to A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, back to A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Again, once you master that, move up on the tempo, see if you can do it faster. There you have it. As I present in every video, everything can be practiced on your regular acoustic guitar. You don't have to buy a special guitar or say I didn't do this because I didn't have the same guitar. You can do all of that on a regular guitar. And same thing with what I'm going to show you next, because I'm going to show you the bass guitar part. Again, can be practiced only on the bass. We're actually going to play single notes, and you can play this with your finger or your pick. I like usually fingers for the bass, but I like the pick for acoustic, so I'm going to demonstrate this with a pick on acoustic, and then I'll show you how it looks on the bass guitar. The part is similar yet different. We're going to start with first just the 5th string open. We're going to move to the 5th string, 4th fret. Then we're going to move to the 4th string, 2nd fret. And finish it on the 4th string, 4th fret. So altogether, one measure looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to shift everything up one set of strings for the D chord. We're starting on the D open string, 4th string. 4th string, 4th fret. 3rd string, 2nd fret. 3rd string, 4th fret. Notice that everything that we're doing just shifts from being on these 2 strings to these 2 strings. Just different sets of strings. The pattern stays the same. So when you practice one, it's very easy to transfer it to another set of strings. Last but not least is the E, which is going to be on the 2 thick strings. Starting with a 6th string open, 6th string 4th fret, 5th string 2nd fret, and last 5th string 4th fret. And there you have it. Notice now the whole pattern, there's a 4-note sequence that actually takes up one measure. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's one measure. So we got the whole sequence is going to look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 2, 3. 4, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, D, back to A, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, A. And there you have the bass part on a regular guitar. Okay, so here we are playing this song on the bass guitar, and taking what we learn on the pattern to on the acoustic guitar and applying it to a regular bass. What we're going to do is, I would say, treat this as if this is a guitar that's just missing the 2 thin strings. So this is kind of your 6th string, even though it's the 4th, and so on. 5th, 4th, 3rd. Take the same pattern, A, so we start on the 5th string, open, 5th string, 4th fret, 4th string, 2nd fret, 4th string, 4th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's one measure pattern for the bass part. Same thing, we're going to shift everything down, one set of string. So we got 4th string open, 4th string, 4th fret, 3rd string, 2nd fret, 3rd string, 4th fret. Same pattern, 1, 2, 3 for the D chord. And we're going to shift it to the 2 thick strings, open, 4th fret, next string, 2nd fret, same string, 4th fret for the E chord. Yes, and there you have all the segments. Now all that's left is put it together for the pattern, for the chord 12-bar blues sequence. So A, 2, 3, A, 2. Here's the 3rd A and the 4th A. D, D, back to A, E, A. And there you have it. Again, you have to be able to play this continuously, pretty fast and non-stop. And so on. And there you have all the parts.